this edition of 2020 Daily Trail Markers, Elizabeth Warren is touting her newly released education plan to voters in Iowa. The plan calls for more than $450 billion in public school funding over the next decade and also takes aim at federal support for charter schools. A new poll released Monday shows the Massachusetts senator trailing Joe Biden by just 1 percentage point, well within the poll's margin of error. That same poll also showed Warren was the top second-choice candidate among Iowa Democratic voters with 22% of support. Let's bring in CBS News 2020 campaign reporter Zach Hudak. He's in Ames, Iowa. All right, so Zach, what are some of the details of Elizabeth Warren's plan, and how does it compare to the rest of the Democratic field?
Elaine, the things that stand out in the plan are that over the next 10 years, she wants to quadruple Title I funding, which goes to low-income schools. The other thing is she wants to fully fund the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. These are 2 points that go hand in hand with the message Warren's been talking about this whole campaign. She's talking about opportunity and what it means not to have it. Here she's trying to spread opportunity to students who have less of it.
And Warren says that she plans to pay for the plan by using her proposed wealth tax. How confident is her campaign in that?
Elaine, they say they're confident, but we have to be aware that, of the 2 estimates we've gotten for how much the wealth tax would raise, this $800 billion education plan would max out even the higher of those 2 estimates. So she doesn't have a whole lot of wiggle room to play with here.
Well, Warren also says that she will release details of her Medicare for All plan in the coming weeks. What's behind the timing of this?
Elaine, she has repeatedly said that she's been working on this since the beginning, and there were times early on where she would say that she's working on details of how to fund it. But in recent weeks, she's come under just an unbelievable amount of pressure on this. We saw on the debate stage, I think it was 7 or 8 of the 11 other candidates on stage were taking swipes at her, and most of it was centered around her lack of clarity on Medicare for All. Just in the past couple days, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, even today, Michael Bennet have been going after her and sort of insinuating that she is lying or misleading the American people. So I think she's reached a point where she has no choice but to sort of say, this is how I'll do it, and frankly answer the question of whether middle-class taxes will go up or not.
Right, that was a question that went unanswered, some would say, at that last debate. Well, Facebook Monday announced changes to its platform that it says will strengthen its security heading into the 2020 election. Warren has called for breaking up big tech companies in the past. How is her campaign reacting to this?
They haven't reacted specifically to the Facebook security increases, but over the past couple of weeks, what we've seen is Warren actually troll Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook to prove what she saw as the problems with his sort of ultimate free speech in advertisements policy. No matter how true or not so true the things in the ads are. Warren ran an ad claiming that Mark Zuckerberg was backing President Trump in the election. There was no truth to that, but the ad got through and it ran on Facebook. Now, we can debate all day whether that was really good for America, for her to sort of put out incorrect information herself to prove a point. But Mark Zuckerberg is a common topic that comes up in her stump speech almost every time she mentions his name now. He is very much a villain of the Warren campaign and of sort of this idea of redistributing the opportunity and taxing the ultra-rich.
Finally, Zach, Mark Zuckerberg confirmed to CBS News that he and his wife made staffing recommendations to the campaign of Mayor Pete Buttigieg earlier this year. How is Elizabeth Warren responding?
She was asked in a gaggle earlier by reporters about it. She did not take the opportunity to swipe at Pete. That's sort of in line with how she's run her campaign to this point. Unless she's pushed into it, she does not, take a direct swing. But she did go after Zuckerberg and did say that Facebook has far too much political power. And that goes in line with, one of her early policies, which was breaking up big tech. She says that sort of the current antitrust mentalities we have couldn't have fathomed companies like Facebook or Amazon, which have essentially crossed borders of industries and now have an unbelievable amount of control over the information, or in Amazon's case, the marketplace.
Right, it is overwhelming to think about the reach of some of these platforms. Zach Hudak for us. Zach, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lynn.